What's up, Go enthusiasts? We have a follow-up. Shin Jinseo. Um, yeah, he eventually played another game against Wujiani here, and then um, look up who Wujiani is on the spreadsheet, and then he lost that one, and here he is again. So way back in the day, they said that Shin Jinseo refused to go to bed until he won an online game sometimes. And it seems that's what he's doing tonight. He's lost four already. I was playing a game during the last one that he played, so I couldn't commentate that one. But fifth time's the charm. To be honest, he didn't play very well in the third game that we watched together. He just allowed the plan to sort of go through for his opponent. So this is Liao Yunhui, who is white. Yeah, it's difficult for me sometimes with the Asian Chinese or Korean or Japanese names. Like, I'm sure I'm butchering them, so I kind of would rather just call them Mujiani. and Paradigm is a great name, by the way, but um, it's quite long. I could call Shinjinso that, but Shinjinso is shorter. Anyway, they played the opening here. Um, Not too much exciting. There's this little bit happening over here where when Wei Hane is, black does not choose to play counter Hane or anything, at least yet. Which makes sense because if you would just extend, it wouldn't be a very valuable direction. And when white plays another move, it'd be over concentrated, so there's no need to stop anything happening over there. And we have this fighting over here, which can be a little interesting as well. The push, Hane, and then Vital Point. Often white players are getting broken against this stuff. A lot of white players connect and let black break this, or connect here and let black cut and it's strong. And white plays it very powerfully by extending, demanding, okay, if you cut here, then I will counterattack your corner. So it's not so simple as just saying, I have a threat and I'm executing on it for black. Black tries to attack this one stone. Of course, the white stone here is better placed than the white connect already, but it's still a solution that white has to find now to manage to save those stones inside, or at least do something from now. Yeah, I was thinking about whether it's turn first or Hane first to try to make something happen here. Black is not going to really want that cut to happen, so fixes it directly. But after this turn, if white cuts, then black can go down. And if white plays from here, white can, black can save. And I think that would make white in trouble overall. It's not exactly 100% clear, but it seems like that's bad for white. So instead, white's going to play this Atari from this side. And he gets to push. Pretty interesting. Interesting variation there. I suspected it would be slightly better for black. That's my feeling. But obviously white is getting something, and black got just a little over here. Black is getting this slide, which is valuable. White saves in the corner. Very interesting. This saving in the corner is designed to not have to care about these cutting points, Then what the downside is that black is going to be able to play on the bottom to save his group, and it's going to be pretty valuable direction. But it would have been probably overplay for white to play from the other side. If white would have attacked with like diagonal jump, then black would attack the corner over here probably pretty well. I don't know though. I don't know if black would really be that satisfied, even though they could take the corner. It makes sense actually. Black would be quite satisfied when I think about it. Anyway, black played peep one time and then played to the bottom side as per expectation. And white played the sharp move underneath here, looking for counterattacks on this black. So hoping that this cutting point that he's created over here will be valuable. But he doesn't have to commit at this point. That's pretty interesting timing to not commit. He's made all these exchanges saying, okay, now if you cut, that's crazy. The shape is so bad and you short your own liberty, so you're not going to cut me. Even though that would locally put this group under pressure, that cut will never happen from now. And if black plays from the outside here, that's not particularly amazing either. Or if they cut here, that's also not making anything great happen. Interesting time to stop, but it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes some sense. Of course, this clamp was coming. I think that's the only move locally after black plays this Hane. And now, yeah, so black had a decision for how to take care. He chose to play underneath with this, which means that this Hane that he played can get cut and separated, and this group on the bottom side is still getting attacked somewhat as well. Of course, shin jinseo had only one way, in his view, to save the outside. He needed to save it while getting pressure outside so he doesn't have to come back to live this group, which would be a disaster. So ideally here, he wants to see white answer, and then is it going to be an immediate attach here? It doesn't look that good. Yeah, this seems more like the vital point, I agree. This one, white has some awkwardness still. Obviously, white wants to save these cutting stones to attack the two groups still. But if he saves them with his outside movement, which is generally the way you would want to do it, it means that black would be able to make life over here in Sente. So he's probably considering to do something. Probably considering to do some counterattack, something more flexible. But it's very hard. How can you ever... This move is definitely the right way for black. Yeah. That was forced for white, I think. It's got to be that. But black, of course, is going to run out without exchanging anything over here. This cut, although it's so stupid for black to ever do that, it is a threat that black will be stupid and kill you. You know? White connects here, and even the fact that this whole group is not alive is still meaningful, which is very painful for white, very annoying. So black jumps to reinforce his own shape, of course, but also to make it so that make it so that white is figuring out like what to even do with this stuff. This is a very sharp move. Very, very sharp. Yeah. So white is gonna look for Atari this way and bamboo, right? In order to attack this. Don't exchange anything. Don't exchange anything and immediately attack this. Is that stronger? It seemed like... So it seemed like the other way black was going to die with one thing or the other in order for it to save. This way, if white is doing it like this, white must think black will still die. So black tries to cower to save, but of course there will still be a cut over here. What black is saying is that, like, even though you can save that and get a reduction in, yeah, I can still make my life, but... So black ended up dying. This was sharp by white to play here, knowing it will still kill. That's kind of crazy, honestly. Their skill level is so immense. I mean, it's just for territory at the same time. I would have already been satisfied as white without going for that much. But he actually pressed for the little extra line of territory at the same time as making the big win, where he captures black attacking him. Shin jinseo is being a little too forceful, I think, today. A little too inflexible. A lot of the time, when he's playing better, he will find these better ways to trade out of his potential losses. So after the black churn, this Hane is a lot more effective. If white would capture the stone after that churn, then black would go back to capture the stone in the corner. And white would still have some stuff, but overall it's good for black. So the game goes on here. Hmm. Let me get some music for myself. So these sequences are quite standard. I think maybe this move is the main one that I should learn from here. That black is intent on showing a big right side to white because that can be the source of his victory here. I think a lot of the time here, in these sort of situations, I would have chosen to play a thick move on the top side, preparing myself, hunkering down for a fight. But then if white can just simply run and let me get a fair position on the right side, and I have a fair position on the top side, and they're going to have a fair position saving themselves, then I don't put any pressure that I can win. So this way, instead, black can make the fight on the top side more interesting, where he really can score a victory if he gets the right side and makes this fair. White, tries to access the corner, but black gets to thicken here. And it seems overall like this is a successful bout of fighting for black, to my perspective, where black is capturing this, getting really thick, getting a lot of potential to attack, and making this so scary. White is going to mess around over there. So if black Haned, if black Haned, white was going to Hane here and save the stuns and Sente. If black Haned, then white was going to jump first, because otherwise these two stuns. White was going to jump and save those stuns, and then come back to saving those stuns. Wow, wedge. I couldn't imagine wedge here. Even though you can get this Atari and save those 3 stuns, I really couldn't prioritize that if I were playing. But it does seem to be efficient. It seems to be effective. Wow, I should have thought about that. Shin jinseo also, I think, did not respect the potential for that to happen. Shin jinseo is sort of playing one person Go at the moment. That's what I call it. Which I've been playing a lot recently, personally, where you just try to optimize your own move, and with respect to the opponents playing the way that you'd expect them to, but without expecting, like, the reason why I'm learning to expect magic over here on the right side is what I've been thinking about a lot, in order to try to play two-person Go, in order to try to play with respect for my opponent to being a real player who will be trying to surprise me and score their own victories. When black just jumped here, that's because he can't do anything to capture it. And white is currently, like, when white jumps here, white is thinking, like, ooh, I can abuse this. As long as I get some forcing moves against the right side, then I can re-counterattack this. You can see this move, which should have been black's glory days, is now turning out to be black's over-concentrated mess. Very familiar to me. But probably not so familiar to Shin jinseo. This stuff happens actually when you play this kind of move. If that move becomes bad, it becomes really bad. If it becomes good, it becomes pretty good. But you've got to keep the fight going well. So black's plan when he did this, I presume, was to be like, well, if you come out here, I'm gonna fight as hard as I can. But it seems like that's not gonna be so effective. Okay, wait, always connects here. What's the point of that? It's just to make the attach there work? That's, wow. This doesn't make sense, because if white comes back, already that was just a very bad exchange for black. There's no shot he was supposed to do that. So if he wants to do it like that, he should have played from the outside, right? Or maybe he did this saying that that forces White to resolve the shape, and that help him on the right side. And then if White helps Black on the right side, then Black can say, "Well, I help you in the center. That's okay." Maybe that's playable. I really didn't think that that kind of thing can be playable. If you like throw a stone in the center, and then you let it become bad shape, but you got good shape on the side, it can be acceptable trading. That's interesting. It's a nice idea from Shinjin, so I should definitely have that in my arsenal of available trades. The more available trades you have, the better player you are. And my available trades arsenal is quite limited, to be honest. I'm quite a skill-less player when it comes to that. When it comes to this kind of fighting is very hard for me, personally. The counter Hane. So the trick is, when you do this, you have to be able to marry your judgment and your reading together. So you have to be able to say, okay, this is very intense. If I capture those, that's great. If I go after that cut, that's great. If I use that cut, that's great. If I can capture those, that's great. But if I die, that's bad. If I get shattered, that's bad. So this cut, obviously, if I would answer that, Black was getting some momentum there. White had a plan. White was thinking, oh, I'm a real player. I can wedge through and disconnect is my Ascente. That's what White was thinking. Using that, White captures these stones, but Black manages to capture the right side again. And even White tries to build this further to stop Black from using the Aji. And Black, in the meantime, is accepting to be able to capture those. Overall, this seems like a very good trading for Black. In the end, Black seems very effective. White had a hard time here because he definitely had to trade somehow. He couldn't keep like everything together. Black had so many threats. So he was thinking about like, what's the best thing that I can do here? And he thought coming back to capture those has to be the best thing. But it really wasn't that big by itself. So it seems like, wow. Somehow by exchanging this first, getting that Hane through, and then coming back to Hane, he managed to make something great happen. Right now, I think Black really can't make anything happen over there if White would just play it straight. But because White had to play it distracted, because otherwise Black would get really strong here and be able to use this Haji and all that terrible stuff. Black got something. Really impressive fighting. Impressive fighting by Shin Jinseo to leave that, have it not even become a bad exchange, and then fight like so. So from there, White had to take the Hane and all this. It was necessary by shape and to cover this. And then at this moment, he's thinking like, okay, I'm dead there, but you have some weakness and some weakness there. And this is like a common vital point to aim at the weaknesses of the diagonal move. The potential cuts there that can happen are really strong. It means that the other cuts here will be very effective. So with this attach will come, and it's really awkward for Black. Black can't cut because the diagonal has a tempo that it needs. And yeah, White uses that tempo, and then Hane is here. Black is really getting super annoyed by this active cutting point over here. Now, obviously, even if White saves these stones, that doesn't mean that White's position is good. There's still active value in the other areas going on here. This one, allowing that Atari, is pretty interesting because it's using the shortage of liberty. So if Black Ataris and cuts here and connects here, White would just connect. And Black can't cut because it's shortage of liberties. So there was actually nothing in this area, even though it seems like it's really thin for White. Even after defending it, there's no Aji. That's why Shinjin just gave up Atari from that side. And the diagonal here means that this cut is covered by the push through. So if White would have just answered that, Black would have pushed through here and captured the whole thing. That's why White had to give up after this diagonal, go save this, and then Black gets to come back through and capture this part. So overall, that exchanging for white was still very beneficial because it got all of these moves pressing black down to actually answer and complete the capture, while white was getting this very valuable outside influence, which you can see he immediately uses like this to cover a huge area. And black has to do something about that, so he comes right in. This move is a classic when there's this shape. You aim at pulling out the cutting stone, which is really annoying for white at various points in the future. So white wants to cover that whole thing, because by covering this, if you can capture that one stone, you can cover the cutting point naturally, rather than just having to fall back and let black reduce your full magnificent area. But black came to the side first, saying, I don't need to fight with this part, but I will fight to save myself. Wow. Now if black saves this, white will connect and try to kill the whole black group. That's what white is talking about. It looks like it would work, so probably black has to trade at this moment. I don't see any trading over here after white thickened that. I think black should just... I mean, maybe black can like push or use the weaknesses there somehow. If it were me, I would probably want to just capture. But wow, he dares do this because he thinks he will lose if he doesn't. There's no reason to do that if you think you will not just like lose by not doing it. But I think it's probably true. The score estimator is obviously lying. If black saves this, black could be okay. Black should not save this. I really doubt that this is savable. Even if you cut over here and get the next move, then I don't think the corner is in that much danger. It's like a carpenter square +1. If you reduce it the normal way, and reducing it non-normal ways don't seem more effective. So if this cut is Gote, then you don't even have a target in the center. You just have literally like the potential eye by connecting through here and the space. That's all you got. So like when I say potential eye, this is one eye. But you don't have anything beyond one eye. You have one eye, this space, and a dream. So he played extend there, which makes the cut a little more important. Wait, fixed it. And then he played Atari, and he runs this way. So he's going to try to use the cutting point. He's going to try to use the cutting point. He's going to try to use the space mostly. I mean, mostly it's about the space. If white answers and black gets the space, then black would live, actually. So white needs to go and kill it right now and leave this cutting point for something to happen. Maybe black can find a way magically, but it really shouldn't exist. So if I were white, I would have played here already, to be honest. I don't know what black can possibly do about it. But I'm sure that white is reading it out. Like maybe there's going to be a jump here into cover like this. And then if white gets in some trouble and gets like bullied slightly, then black could start to make an eye like outside elsewhere. It seems so ridiculous. Wow, white was reading out this one. It looked to me like if black plays here, black should be able to make that eye shape. I'm now reading the life and death properly, the way I should have from the start, to be honest. But jinseo looks at it favorably. It's interesting that he's not exchanging over here, by the way. I don't know why that would... I mean, it's to use this one to make the second eye somehow. But I don't see that. Anyway, white just reduces gently like this and says, you're already gonna die. But can't black play here and then here? And be alive? That looks alive, right? As far as I can tell, black just lived. And of course, my method is like the absolute simplest, which they would not do the absolute simplest way. Oh, is there a sweet method like that still? Wow, here? What? This one means... Let's be careful here. This one means... Wait, is this part not reducible even if white spins a move? Is that why they're not playing it? There. It looks reducible because there's that. I mean, maybe there's still a ko even if white spins a move over there. But this Hane... Ah, can you do this? Here, and Tari... No, not that effective. Okay, I don't understand. At this moment, obviously their reading is a lot better than mine, so I'm going to get screwed in these reading fights. At this moment, if black played here, white would need to play this one. Then black plays here, then I think black is alive. The white would play attach and here, and then Hane to try to kill it, I guess. Oh, is that killing? Ah. And there was no other method that black can just like save it? Like this one or something? I understand why you played it here now. It's to make the maximum space. If you do that and then go here, if you can get that, it's great. And you can just about... Wow. Wow. Okay, this is actually so close. So close to life. So now if black would answer this, which makes sense, yeah, white was going to reduce from this side. I don't know what that move is about. When white reduces from this side, if black answers again, white wants to attach in and then cut. Like that, right? No, he can't do that. Oh, once black uses this sente, then he can do that. I see. Wow. So then black is using this one to try to see white answer, and if white answer, then if white fills all of these liberties, black would be able to live. So white cannot answer that. That's why black finally got this cut, and then with that cut, he also has the cut going on over here. But white managed to, at this point, now make this 0i over here. So this cut forced white answer because the cut over here would happen. And now finally, black managed to make it so that he can do something. And this is his choice, because if you play here as the carbon square +1, you got nothing. This is his choice to try to make something happen in the corner. But can't white... Oh, if white just backs off, then black could connect. So this can be stronger. This definitely can be stronger. And black has a lot of liberties over here. So this is not easy, actually, for white. Is shin jinseo gonna make a miracle save out of this game? He's on his way through. This is like everything going as he needs it to go for the miracle save. He's found all the resources everywhere. Wow, wait, fell back. Obviously this Hane will come. If white falls back completely, then white will obviously lose. So white needs to just treat that as an exchange and then try to jump here, I think. It was between jump and block. Is block better? Why would block be better? I don't understand why block is better. I don't know what's happening, to be honest. Now when black tries to Atari here, white is thinking that they're going to descend, right? And then black can capture those two stones and start a kind of capture race going on here. If white cuts and Ataris, then black will make a ko. So if white cuts and plays here, and black plays this one, so tries to do it without the cut. So trying maybe to play here. Uh-huh. No, he still is going to use that one. But he thought about doing that way. So this way, now if black plays here and white does that one, white can Atari it. White has one liberty enough. But if black plays here, there can be a long ko. Black uses this to make... Aha. So at this point, black is going to try to make the long ko and then make the second eye in the long ko. Right? Well, why would he use this as his ko threat first then? Doesn't seem to make sense. Oh. So this way, he allows himself to short the liberty directly. Very, very directly. Because white has to go to kill it. Oh, that made it so that this one is sente and he can short the liberty. Oh, sick. White resigned. The miracle save by Shin Jinseo. He finally won a game. Wow. Wow. He combined everything together here at the last moment using that one and this one, asking for two eyes over there to be able to make this incentive. Why can I not think so flexibly in these fights? My goodness. Really good fighting. Let's take a look at this one in Kataga. So, yeah, you can see black was Shin Jinseo, white was Liao Yunhei. Black was actually doing well through this part, huh? And then white had the advantage through here, and then wait, white still had the advantage when resign happened. He resigned because he can't play over here, but white could have just like stopped trying to kill. Are you serious? White could have tried to make a ko in the bottom left. Oh my goodness. It's crazy if black is not winning after like counterattacking the corner successfully and making his group alive. That's actually crazy. Anyway, let's go back to the beginning here. We saw it from here. So black tested the waters with this, tried to break white a little bit, but actually it's bad. You shouldn't do it with the weak corner like this. White could... Yeah, if white would have done this way, it would have been better as well, because this way you wouldn't see black connect. You would see black connect this way, and white could make the trick. I was reading it this way. I saw AI suggested some other thing. But like this, even net. I thought this way is good enough for white is counterattacking, but the fake net is interesting. Where black can break through and is some counterattack. Anyway, I guess that reading was not so easy, and also there was this move happening. Black needs to come back here. Yeah, that move is actually a better read anyway. But that Hane was a little more testing than this one, which black could just answer and answer. And then, yeah, white just lived over here, but it was wrong. It should have been to save with this. To stop the peep, or to use this early and counterattack directly. Yeah, this seemed a little strange. Letting black take the peep first, which is good, and then to get the valuable spot as well. Black just connected, and then white tanuki'd. White was either going to tanuki or Hane. So it actually turns out the connect was overplay from Shin Jinseo. Small overplay. And he does this stuff, and he played here. This is so awkward for white. White couldn't figure out what to do. Apparently Hane first, but this one is so sensible, so normal. Great move here. Black just connect, which is correct again. Yeah, I was saying, this is just magnificent. Magnificent move. Because otherwise black would have saved with that push. But this way, black couldn't save with that push. He had to save underneath and then let this go through. And he'd had to save here again, and white did that. I thought white was winning, but my judgment was totally wrong. Shin Jinseo was actually doing well, despite dying with those 3 stones. They are dead, and white has saved their group by capturing them. There's so much Aji, I guess. And the fact that black saved that group and has the right side control. Black is actually doing well here. That's crazy. So white's mistake that let black start doing well was what? Not Haneing there. So not going for the crazy counter pressure at that point. And not Haneing over here at some point in order to try to make a squeeze to get thicker. That's interesting. Anyway, it went like this, and yeah, we can see Shin Jinseo's move here. Lit up just fine. This one was apparently a good choice. But this was locally the right way to try to press for an advantage. Yeah, white could have gone directly for counterattacking like this, counterattacking ideas, but he would get in some trouble over here. So he tried to just like make his group stable and also to cover this. It was an interesting trading, but overall that was slightly good for black, slightly. This cut happened. He came back here, and then the wedge was actually just okay. It wasn't even good. I thought that was quite good, but just okay. Interesting. Black just jumped. Apparently the knight's move is the better way, because you could press white. Wow. Press white despite accepting these stones dying. That's very interesting. Yeah, Shinjitsu's method here was so flexible. And then the Hane was strong, but he even used this stuff and made it stronger. Wow. Problem was when he did this and he let white wedge, it was very good for white. Wow. My judgment is completely wrong, you know? I thought like, oh, black finally got something out of this, finally gained when he captures these stones. But actually white's shape is very thick. Having captured these stones is a lot of bonus points. White's shape is very thick. This territory is not so important. And black's attack there. Although this attack is like nice, we saw in the game how absolutely domineering the white center is. So it turns out, yeah, it's so hard to anticipate. But from this moment, you have to make sure you're ready for the white center to get really big if you chase these. This is actually an overcommit to try to overcommit to capture that. So you play this way instead. And you make it so that the center has problems which you're going to use. And so that white has difficulty saving over here. So they can link up to the stones, but that doesn't mean that the whole group is okay, you know? This would be the right way for black to attack it. Wow. Where black is mostly talking about his own security and then the long-term issues, rather than talking about the short-term potential kill. Wow, wow, wow. Very, very difficult judgment here to allow this kind of thing. Ah, he was supposed to Atari first, which means he's supposed to continue. Wow, Atari first and then come back. This is unthinkable for me, because it's like, oh, you allow the cut, but actually, if white cuts, then white can't catch these two stones. How is this even playable? white would try to save the group separately, apparently. Yeah, but anyway, it's only barely. So, okay. Basically, you've got to worry about that weakness, and that's what this one is doing, as I knew. Yeah, but when he covers that weakness, it's so hard. When he covers the weakness that way, like obviously if you did it with this, then you just made a bad exchange, so you shouldn't do it that way. But if you cover the weakness this way, it's so valuable for white. This one was like slightly worse for black because the loss on territory, I guess, compared to the other way. Yeah. He captured it safely, but a little small. Nobody knows about like which of the loose moves that you should play. You have to have perfect God reading to know that. But white went for the giga strong attack this way, and the AI disagrees with my judgment that this is clearly gonna die. And yeah, I presume it thinks that this way white is winning, because that's what Shinjitsu's judgment was. If I do this, then white wins, so let's do it the hard way. He did it with that. Wow. It's so loose. So I was saying this one is the one that I would do, right? And apparently that insta saves for black, because black is going to use Aha! There's a Hane trick where you're going to short the white liberties to catch them with the cut. So now even though white tries to save all the way, then after this, you can see it is an Atari. That's bad. So that cut was directly valuable from this Hane, and that means that there's no way for white to kill it, and then it's all over if I can't kill it. So this one isn't playable because black would get a little more power by chasing that one, and use that and the additional power and the cut here all together. And so that's why Diagon hit was like, okay, that means I need to come back to fix the cut. And then black played this one, which I was thinking of. I thought that one was necessary, but the AI did not think so. This move is just trying to play this sente, but get a little extra territory, right? So I was thinking, I was thinking, let me play this sente, play here, and then be alive. That was my thought process. Quite a simplistic thought process, but wow, this move was so strong. So I wonder what it is that this exchange actually gains, because it just is like excuse me. It just is like doing this exchange, but forcing it, and the AI wants white to play here instead. I really don't understand why white would do that instead of going here. Which, although it loses some points, if it kills that, it's obviously much better. This one... Nobody knows what's happening in this kind of huge life and death. This is where shin jinseo can easily make a 15-point mistake. And back and forth and back and forth. Yeah, so I kept on thinking that they were going to do that first, and then go here, and then do this kind of thing. But white can still try to kill it. This was the method that they used in the game. So I guess in the game, maybe it was supposed to die from now. But black made the most of his Aji. Absolute most. White didn't kill it with that, but with that. Which should be fine still. Should be fine. If the other way was fine. His attach and this method... It's so confusing, guys. It's so confusing. So at this moment, if white tries to claim that it's dead, so this locally kills it, it's not better than the Hane. This way, you can say it's dead locally. Well, black is going to short the liberty, and that part dies. Now, could black have answered this in sente first? I guess maybe. Yeah, answered that in sente first and then played here. So then this white dies and then black is winning by 30 points. Great. So white couldn't kill that anymore. But the AI is not saying that the game is over at this moment when I resigned. It's saying you should Hane and Hane here. Then black can go back and try to kill you, but as long as we aren't trying to kill this black and we don't give them the additional liberty for that, then you can actually, kill the black corner and save your group. And then black is alive here because they have this sente and then Miai between these two. But black needs to save his corner group, and white will use that stuff against him. So black could actually just go back to save and save like this, and then black would be leading a little bit. Wow. This move is so sharp to play that rather than to play here. You can see the AI suggests here, which I'm sure shin jinseo would do it like this, and then this one, so that's block, and it suggests this one, and then this is very similar to the actual game. Shouldn't black be alive now? Oops, I need to exchange this first, and then play here, and if you do that and here, then now, aha! So by avoiding... avoiding the 2-2 point was critical for white. By avoiding playing the 2-2 point, then they avoid giving black the additional liberty, and black is now dead. All dead. Yeah, there's no resources. It's just dead, just dead. So this would be the only resource. You'd have to play here to make a ko. As black, this is necessary. And you can play like this to force eventually ko. Or this one. This one means you make life if they answer, right? Right. If they answer, then you play here and you're alive. So after this, what does white do? How does white? So white tries to kill it over here, and black plays here, and then there's a ko. Wow. Okay, but instructive then. You don't play that exchange because that actually helps black build their shape inside of your space and gives them more liberties. And finally, it was this exchange that led white to death. I was talking about how this jump is better. You want to avoid playing the connect, probably. Yeah, maybe not. Why is black exchanging that? I don't get it. So again here, black is going to get the sente. The sente first line move, and then be alive. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So you did have to block. But, yeah, wow. This stuff is so tricky. It's so tricky, I can't believe it. Shin jinseo won in the end. So bold to play like this move. And say, yeah, I'm just fine. I'm fine. Go ahead and try. Go ahead and try and attack me. I'm fine. It's so hard to do this. Even when I have AI here, I don't know what the correct moves are because I don't trust it. And I'm using my own brain, and my own brain doesn't know either. This is the move that I was talking about, right? So I was basically... My reading was this one for a while, and then eventually I realized that, hang on a second, even though this looks like you're alive, there's actually this stuff. Yeah. There's this, and then what I was reading as well was this way, which looks like it kills two. So what's the problem here? Ah, but there's this one. So you can't do that one. So you have to play here and this if you want to kill it, and it's dead. There's no way for black to use this space to make the second eye, right? Surely not. Maybe. It's the ko here, which if white backs off from, then there's a short liberty thing happening where there's this cut happening, and then white is in actual trouble. Wow. Why is black cutting there first and not cutting here first? Oh, you lost your potential guaranteed eye by exchanging like this, so you have to cut this one first. Let white do it that way. And then, wow, this ko. There's so many resources. There's so many resources. This is just how it works, I guess. You can't kill anything. You can't kill anything. Wow. Even this kind of group. If white wanted to kill, they had to find this move, which is super hard. And still there would be so many resources for black. I can't believe it. What a game. Miracle save by shin jinseo. Manages to get into this huge area for white. And save a group and win the game. Unreal. Unreal. Thanks for watching. See you next time, you Tokyus.